Welcome to Acoustic Afternoons. Why not take a break? Find a comfy chair, pour yourself a coffee, and let the music from today's singer take you away.
Good morning, Victoria. My name is Todd Thomas. I'm a baritone, having appeared with your company several times. Hopefully you may remember me from the productions of Das Rheingold. I sang the role of Alberich, as well as Iago in Otello, and the title role of Simon Boccanegra, and more recently in Il Trittico. Pacific Opera Victoria has been a very, very dear place in my heart. I'm so thrilled that the company has invited me to be part of this Acoustic Mondays. I'm coming to you from my home in Philadelphia. As I said, this is a all-purpose utility room. Hopefully in this next quarantine period, I hope to convert it to a music room, office, meditation room, but more than likely it'll still remain the walk-in closet for my wife. Anyway, we all have crosses to bear. What a strange time we're living in, isn't it? It's really surreal in some ways, just a huge tragedy that we're facing head on. And for me, what gives me great comfort and great solace is the memory sometimes of performances, specifically with your company. You know, one thing that makes Pacific Opera Victoria very, very special to me is your great sense of community. The company goes out of its way to engage both artists, designers, directors with the community. We have 3 or 4 events before each production opens. And over these 4 or 5 productions I've done with you already, it's given me some great, great blessings of wonderful friendships and collaborations. It's community, isn't it? And that's what really art is all about, is the engagement between the stage and the audience, or between the colleagues on stage. In this, what they're called, Acoustic Afternoons, we've been invited to sing for you, just briefly, a cappella, something that really means something dear to us, something very close to us. I'm choosing a hymn tune, which kind of accentuates or demonstrates this sense of longing that we have for community and connection. It's called Shall We Gather at the River? Shall we gather at the river where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God, that flows by the throne of God. See you at the river. See you at the opera. We'll come back.
So I want to welcome Todd Thomas to Acoustic Afternoons, the interview portion. I'm really thrilled with the video that you've offered to us that we're also sharing with our patrons. so beautiful. And I love the intimacy of singers that I know from sitting in the house with 1,400 seats. I love that sort of moment of seeing you in your own personal life. But maybe we can start, you can share with people where you're zooming into. You're coming to me
be
from
happy
where
to.
in the world?
Thank you, Rebecca, for setting this up. I love these acoustic afternoons that this whole series. I look forward to Mondays to see what the new installment is. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm coming to you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Specifically, I'm in this room. Used to be a bedroom for one of my boys. It's transformed itself from an office into a walk-in closet for my wife, and now we're trying to find a new purpose for it. Right now, this has become kind of our go-to spot for Zoom and for online communication, meetings, etc. But that's on my second floor of my home in Philadelphia.
And what's life like in Philadelphia right now?
Well, it's so odd, isn't it? It's like so almost surreal. We're living in some kind of really bad made-for-TV movie. It seems in every aspect of our life, and yet this is our life. Specifically with our family, we're fortunate that my wife is still working. Does pastoral care at a university hospital here, so she's been working every day. In fact, she was tested actually just 2 days ago. There was a possible COVID virus in her office, and she just got the results back just earlier today, asking her to come back into work tomorrow. She's been tested negative, so that was a big relief for all of us. Currently, we are at home here with my two sons. I have 4 kids. My 2 youngest kids are my sons, age 20, Samuel, and Noah, who's 12. And that's been challenging, as you might imagine. The 12-year-old is supposed to be doing online work, but it's very difficult to pull him away from Fortnite and the gaming activity that he has.
Yes,
but
I understand completely what you're saying about that.
Right, it's a work in progress with that. But and then my son Samuel, who is also in community college, of course, that's been canceled at this point, and his part-time job has also been canceled. But it's great to have him home because he loves culinary arts, and so he's cooking a lot for us, which is a great treat. And we had great Easter dinner that he provided, and we're getting the family time is really unique because this is I'm not home that much in my career. I've missed a lot of days, a lot of very important events in my kids' lives, and there's nothing really particularly important going on right now other than really kind of connecting and finding connection together. And that's overall is a really positive thing. There's the flip side of that, meaning that there's too much free time for all of us and we get kind of on each other's nerves. There's only 4 walls in every room, right? So, but it's overall, we're taking the positive spin on all of it.
It's nice. It's I think we're all having a very similar experience. So it is lovely to be home instead of nesting and taking care of projects and
right.
Rooms that were closets that were turning into other spaces. I finally cleaned out my garden shed,
Right.
but I have a 22-year-old and a 20-year-old, and we could use a little more space.
Right. And even I have 2 older daughters who live together. I'm so very happy that they have each other as roommates exclusively, and they live in Philadelphia, but maybe a 30-minute ride from us. And my younger daughter especially is very, very good and very disciplined in terms of us not sharing space. She was just here earlier to pick up a few items, and we visited on the porch, with our masks and with our coats on, etc. But she was not going to come into the house. So it's good. I mean, I will definitely play that way. So it's good.
Yeah, and it will pass, and we will get to see each other again. But it's such as you say, a very curious time to be living. Very curious time.
And this will pass, right?
So when you're here in Victoria, and I know you've been here more than once, obviously with us, you've been here a few times.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favorite things to do when you come to visit us here in our beautiful I've got the backdrop behind me down from Dallas Road that people can look at. This is what our ocean looks like. But what do you like to do when you come to visit us?
So many things, but it's very difficult in a way to leave that hotel. The Chateau Victoria is a great place. It's my favorite accommodations that I have any place that I travel to. And over the years, I've gotten to know that staff. They never leave those jobs. You know, the bell captains, the concierge people, the folks at the desk, the people in the restaurants. I mean, you know, you have the restaurant upstairs on the top floor, as well
Vista
as
18.
Vista 8. That's, I'm trying to think of the name. Vista 18,
Yes.
as well as Clive's down below. But however, when I get out of the hotel, exactly where you are, that road, Dallas, is that Dallas Road?
Yes, yeah, Dallas Road.
That whole area, I just follow that all around, you know, the water vista, and that's one place where I go most often on performance days to just go through the opera, the text in my head, with that kind of walking and things like that. That's helped me a lot. But boy, that vista is really, you know, I hope you guys don't take that for granted, because it is a beautiful, beautiful walk around Dallas Road there. I just really enjoy that walk.
Yeah, I feel pretty fortunate. This picture, as I shared with you before we began the interview, I just took this last weekend, on Easter weekend, when I was out walking the dog, and it's pretty glorious. It's pretty glorious.
No, it's really great. And you know, the thing is about Victoria, after being there for so long, have developed such great friendships within the community, but specifically with the opera staff and the chorus and the orchestra. I mean, it really feels like it's a big family reunion when I see the gentlemen and the ladies of the chorus, as well as folks in the orchestra when they join us, because we have these great longer periods there than a lot of other companies. And we have, you know, 4 performances for each show. So you really develop a lot of really good friendships. I'm in touch with many people in the chorus still there. So it's really, the friendships are really, really great. I just love Victoria. You know that. Everybody who's heard these interviews or these chats that you know Ian kind of organizes, or that you and your staff mates organize in terms of engaging with the community, it really gets us a chance to really meet the public and to really form wonderful friendships. So
it's wonderful. Well, and of course we feel the same way. We're always really excited when you come back. So it is kind of a lovely family relationship.
It is.
It's interesting, on the podcast, the Listening Party podcast that I've been producing through this time as well. We've done 2 shows talking about the chorus, and that is something we really explored, is the relationship between the chorus. Is sort of, it lives here all the time, and this is their home company, but they do have the opportunity to make amazing friendships with visiting artists that are great for the artists who visit, who are missing their family, as you talk about being away from your family, and also an amazing connection for people here to actually get a sense of an artist's life, what they create, how they create. I think it's good for everybody. It goes back and forth in both directions.
It's true. I mean, I think specifically, I think of Dale, for instance, who seems to organize many of these like Friday after rehearsal get-togethers at Romeo's pizza place or different places in town through the whole rehearsal process, and it becomes like a Friday standard place to meet up with the chorus. So that's become a really big plus for me.
Well, it's interesting, right? I was thinking as I did the podcast about the chorus, is that it's about gathering, and so much of creating opera is about we gather together as a cast.
Right.
The audience gathers to watch us do it, and so it's hampering in this time that we cannot gather.
Right.
So I think my final question for you is, as we all everyone's talking about when will this all be relaxed and we'll be able to engage in the world again. What do you think will be the first thing you'll want to do when we actually don't have to observe social distancing anymore? You can have some sense of normal. What do you really want to go back to?
That is a great question. I think I'm going to pose that on Facebook to my friends too. What's the very first thing you'll do? I just really miss a lot of my friends. I mean, that are local. I mean, I'm very active in a church community here, and we haven't been able to meet as a congregation or even as friends, things like that. So I plan to go to church, I think is one of the things, and also to kind of maybe just go downtown and walk around and go to some of my favorite places and just hang out. I mean, that's simply to hang out, and some beautiful spots in Philadelphia, Rittenhouse Square and different Fairmount Park, Boathouse Row. I mean, many of those places are just great to walk around and see each other, and inevitably I meet somebody that I know on my walks in Philadelphia. It's not that large of a town that we don't see somebody that we know. So I think those are the 2 things. Looking forward to going to church and just going downtown and hanging out. How about you? What are you looking forward to?
Well, it's I have a drumming group that I belong to, Indigenous drum group, and I really miss drumming with my community
Oh,
because it's such good medicine. They'll be anywhere on a Friday night from 20 of us to 60 of us singing
wow.
different traditional songs. It's a mix of Indigenous and non-Indigenous people here at the Native Friendship Center.
Right.
And we've tried to do it virtually, but there's a lag on Zoom, so we can't really recreate it in a
No,
virtual world. So
that's
I'm
wonderful.
looking forward. I'm looking forward to drumming with my community again.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for sharing that beautiful song with us. And I'm going to look forward to having you back here again, and we'll meet for a drink at Clive's, I think.
I would love that.
We'll hang out.
That's exactly. Look forward to it.
All right.
Thank you, Victoria, for hanging with us. And God bless. And we'll see each other again very, very soon.